What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Cloud Smoke YouTube channel. D-Cloud here. Today, we're going to do probably one of the easiest and most forgiving things to make in barbecue, and it's essential for any beginner to try, and that's pulled pork. So stick around and see how I do it. So what I've got is about an 8-pound pork butt or a pork shoulder, bone in. And the great thing about this is it's got all this delicious fat on it. So everybody's a little intimidated about doing long cooks, and this is one of the easiest ones to do because of this fat. We don't have to worry about drying the meat out. As far as prep, I pulled it out and I dried it off. Just take a good look at it, make sure you don't have any little bits hanging off. And the only thing I really do before we get to seasoning is I like to score the fat cap. So I've got a really sharp knife and I'm going about 1 inches apart. It doesn't have to be perfect. The whole reason I do this, A, it looks freaking awesome while it's cooking. Almost looks like a holiday ham. And B, it just gives you more surface area for your seasoning, and it allows it to get down into the meat instead of just flavoring the fat. So now I got that trimmed up, or scored up. Talking's hard. I don't like this guy. It doesn't look great. You just cut that off. And then I'm going to hit it with a binder. So I've just got some regular old yellow mustard. And the whole part of a binder is to get your seasoning to stick. The mustard doesn't really add any sort of flavor to it. I've seen people use olive oil. I've seen people, leave it wet out of the cryo vac and put it on. I've heard of people using Chick-fil-A sauce that comes in the bottle. So I like using mustard to get it to stick. And don't forget about the sides. Gotta get the sides. So, seasonings of choice. I'm actually going to go with 2. So the first one is going to be a layer of Cosmo's Honey Killer Bee. Whoa. Have to put some mustard on that side yet. And then just for another layer of flavor, I like to go in with like a medium light coat of Dirty Bird. The Killer Bee has the sweetness. The Dirty Bird just gives a little more savory flavor. Now this is only the first layer of seasoning that we're going to do. Once this is done cooking and we go to shred it, I'm also going to fortify it with these seasonings again, just to give it that extra punch at the end. So we got one side done. Flip it over. This side, we want to try to get down in the nooks and crannies that we created. Make sure we get the sides. So Killer Bee, This one, you can start opening these up to get it down into the meat. Then we'll come back in with our dirty bird. Now we got it seasoned up. Take my meter probe, stick it in the thickest part, and off to the pit she goes. So we got our pork butt. We got it on the pit. I did put a little water pan in there just to help it, put some moisture into the cooking chamber. I'm running about 270, so anywhere between 250, 275, and it doesn't matter if you got a Masterbuilt, if you've got an offset, if you've got a pellet grill, just something that can do it between 250 and 275. So I'm gonna let this go a couple hours until we get around the 160, 170 degree range. But I'm gonna let it alone for at least 2 hours. Then I'm gonna start spraying it down with some apple cider vinegar, and we'll go from there. All right, it's been about 3.5 hours. Let's check on our pork. Ooh. Did you look at that? That looks awesome. So I was gonna spray it, but it's not really dried out to where it needs it. So we're just gonna let it keep rocking and rolling. All right, so about 6.5 hours in. Ooh, it's looking good. It's kind of stalled out. It's been hanging out at about $1.60 for, I don't know, an hour or so. So what we're gonna do to help that is, I've got a little full pan. So I'm gonna take the pork butt out, I'm gonna throw it in this pan, and then I'm gonna wrap it in foil. So that's gonna do a couple things. A, it's gonna help speed up the cooking process. So the stall, so what it means when a piece of meat is stalling is that it's gotten to the point to where it's cooking all the moisture, or trying to cook the moisture out of the piece of meat. So that creates steam. And through thermodynamics, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of heat energy to turn a liquid into a steam. So that's what's going on during a stall, and that's why it just kind of hangs out, because the heat energy that's in the meat is getting released through the steam. So when we wrap it up and we wrap it in foil, we trap that steam inside of it. So that's what I'm going to do. And then the pan just collects the juices. So I've got a fat separator, and if you guys have seen my Memorial Day video, you've seen me use it. So we're going to take whatever juices are collected in the bottom of the pan, put them in the fat separator, and then any of the stuff that's at the bottom, that's the pork juice. So we're going to take that, and then we're going to reintroduce that into the pork once we shred it. That way you have nice juicy shredded pork and not dried out stringy nasty pork. So I'm going to do that, and after that we'll run it up till it hits the internal temp of 205 degrees, and I'll see you then. All right, so we're 8 hours in, and we have hit the magic number of 203 degrees. And if I take my insta read, it slides right through just like butter. That's what you want to see. That, and if you really want to know if your pork butt is done, they have these built-in thermometers if you get the bone-in ones. You see how that came apart like almost completely clean? That's when you know you have a fully cooked pork butt. I was going to strain the juices off of it and put it in the fat separator, but I didn't get a whole lot out of it, so that means there's still a good bit in it. So from this point, I'm just going to shred it, cover it up. I'm going to throw it in a cooler so it stays warm overnight. That way, around lunchtime tomorrow, we have pulled pork. I'll see you then. Boop. All right, so got the pork shredded up, and it's still pretty moist from letting it hang out its own juices after I shredded it. So the only thing I'm going to do is we're just going to elevate this flavor. From here, it's ready to go on a sandwich, but I just want that extra oomph. So I'm just going to fortify it with a little bit more of our seasoning that we started with to really bring out those flavors again. Give it a sprinkle, and then I'm going to hit it with a little apple cider vinegar. So if you do this and mix it all up, it pretty much makes its own sauce. No sauce needed but this. Yeah, I'm making a mess, but that looks money. Let's try it. All right, so I've got my little helper back out with me, and this is probably one of her most favorite things that I make. You ready to try it?
Yep.
Get in there.
Best thing in the world.
Best thing in the world? Even better than your fish? Man, that's saying something. All right, well, if the kid approves, I guess it's my turn. I'm gonna get a piece, a little bit of bark here. Oh yeah. You have got to try the screw up that. I mean, that's just a pan full of deliciousness. And it's probably one of the easiest things in barbecue to make. So I think all in all, I was 8 hours. So, kid's stealing it out of the pan now. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed what you saw, give me a like and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.